In this video, we'll be talking about cognitive development in middle adulthood, specifically the differences between fluid and crystallized intelligence, research from the Seattle longitudinal study, um, life satisfaction, how middle adults are returning to college for advanced training, the differences between an expert versus a novice, changes in the workforce in the United States, and then also the importance of leisure time for our mental health and for a successful retirement. So fluid intelligence refers to the capacity to learn new ways of solving problems and performing activities quickly and abstractly. It depends more heavily on basic information processing skills, and it includes the ability to detect relationships among visual stimuli, speed of analyzing information, and the capacity of working memory. It is measured on intelligence tests by items involving spatial visualization, digit span, letter number sequencing, and symbol searches. Crystallized intelligence, on the other hand, refers to the accumulated knowledge of the world we have acquired throughout our lives. It is heavily influenced by culture and includes skills that depend on experience, good judgment, and mastery of social conventions. Crystallized intelligence is measured on intelligence tests by our performance on vocabulary, general information, verbal comprehensions, and logical reasoning test items. Fluid intelligence starts to decrease in early adulthood, while crystallized intelligence increases through middle adulthood. Because of these differences in types of intelligence, even though IQ scores decline with age, middle adults do not show a decrease in their general cognitive competence. So essentially, we are able to make up for any declines in those fluid intelligence areas by our crystallized intelligence skills and by tacit knowledge, which we'll talk about in that novice versus expert section. But yeah, we don't see a decline in cognitive competence, even though information processing speed does decline. And so what this graph is showing is intelligence levels for both fluid and crystallized intelligence across the lifespan. And you can see with crystallized intelligence, that's pretty much increasing throughout from birth through middle adulthood. Fluid intelligence, on the other hand, it's starting to peak around that 30-year mark, although there is some disagreement about exactly when we start to see some decline there. Kay Warner Shea and colleagues have been tracking cognitive abilities in adults since 1956. The participants are tested every 7 years, and new participants are also added to the study. So this is a sequential research design. About 6,000 people have participated so far. Middle-aged adults perform better on 4 of the 6 abilities compared to when they were younger. So verbal memory, spatial skills, inductive reasoning, and vocabulary, all better. These skills improve with age until we start getting into our 70s. Numeric ability, on the other hand, starts to decline in middle adulthood, and perceptual speed starts to decline in early adulthood. Additionally, middle adults have tacit knowledge, or knowledge that is pragmatic or practical and learned through experience rather than explicitly taught. And it's also known as professional instinct, and that increases with age. So as you can see on this graph, perceptual speed highest for the younger adults, and then declining as we age. Compared to most of these other abilities, you'll see For numeric ability, fairly stable and starting to decline in middle adulthood and into late adulthood. But the other four, verbal ability, inductive reasoning, ver sorry, I'm reading them wrong. No, I am. Verbal ability, inductive reasoning, verbal memory, and spatial orientation. There you go. Those are increasing through into middle adulthood. They start to stabilize as we're starting to get to the end of middle adulthood and into late adulthood, starting to decline. So the United States is experiencing an increase in the number of midlife adults enrolling in college, and the rate is rising quicker than it is for more traditionally aged students. Students over 35 account for 17% of all college and undergraduate students in 2009, and it's expected to reach 19% in 2020. I'm not sure if we actually hit that or not, especially with the pandemic. There are many reasons midlife adults return to school. They may be launching a second career, getting additional training to get better pay, or to take their career in a new direction or pursue interests they haven't had time for. Midlife adults tend to approach school differently. They are more likely to look for relevance to their daily lives or careers when they're learning new information, and tend to be more focused on problem solving than memorization. It may take a little longer to learn information, but midlife adults are less likely to quickly forget it. Midlife students are generally more independent, inquisitive, and intrinsically motivated compared to more traditionally aged students. The American Association for Community Colleges started the Plus 50 initiative to help provide grants to community colleges in creating or expanding programs that focus on workplace training and new careers for the Plus 50 population who will retire later in life or continue to work in their retirement. So the novice and the expert. So a novice is someone who's new, right? Who has limited experience with a particular task, while an expert has specialized skills and knowledge that pertain to a particular topic or activity. Novice and experts differ in how they think and problem solve. For novices, they tend to follow steps and rules when they're problem solving, while experts draw on their accumulated knowledge and their past experiences, leading to actions that often seem more intuitive rather than formulaic. Experts are able to process complex thoughts and actions automatically due to their vast experience, while novices tend to process more consciously and deliberately. Experts also have learned more effective strategies for thinking and performing tasks due to years of experience, while novices may use less effective strategies. Experts also tend to be more curious and creative, more flexible in tackling new challenges. And while expertise doesn't make up for all cognitive changes, it is one reason why many reach the top of their career in middle adulthood. The US civilian non-institutionalized workforce has declined since the late 1990s. Those 55 and older will continue to grow by about 2%, and those in the ages of 65 to 74 will continue to grow by about 4%. So in 2012, 53% of the workforce was female. For most genders and age groups, labor force participation has declined and will continue to decline, except for older middle-aged groups like the baby boomers and especially women 55 and older. Job satisfaction tends to peak in middle adulthood. Most are at the pinnacle of their careers and are experiencing better pay, benefits, and have more involvement in decision-making at this point. However, not all middle adults experience job satisfaction. So dissatisfaction with one's job is more common among women compared to men, and among blue-collar workers compared to white-collar workers. Burnout refers to unsuccessfully managed workplace stress. It consists of feelings of exhaustion, increased mental distancing from one's job, and feelings of cynicism or negativity. It is more common to experience burnout among the helping professions. So if you're in the medical field, education, psychology, it's also more common among American workers in general compared to other developed countries. The United States does not have guaranteed paid vacation days like most developed countries, and not all employees are covered by overtime pay laws. Only 4 in 10 US workers work a 40-hour week. Most workers work more. So most workers working 47 hours, with 39% working 50 or more hours a week. Americans work more hours per year than most European countries at 1,790. So that's more than the United Kingdom, Sweden, Spain, Germany, France, Denmark, but is less than countries like Mexico and Russia. Economic downturns have had a big impact on working adults, with 55% reporting fewer hours, pay cuts, switching to part-time work, and more. Younger adults had the higher rate of unemployment, while middle-aged adults lost retirement savings and house values shrank while foreclosures increased. Unemployed middle-aged adults are more likely to remain unemployed compared to younger adults. Typically, businesses see it as, cheaper because you don't have to pay new workers with no experience as much as more experienced workers. Baby boomers, those who were born between the years 1946 and 1964, were more likely to retire early due to the pandemic, as shown by the big increase in retirements in 2020. Many factors influence this increase in retirement. Workers who voluntarily retired were those in professional positions who had a larger amount of wealth. Others lost their jobs during the pandemic, had health issues, or were discouraged and retired early. 55 to 64-year-olds without a college degree retired at a 5% faster rate during this time. This contributes to inequality, as older Black workers without a college degree were more likely to retire earlier than planned, and this results in significant Social Security cuts. So if you're retiring early, you're not going to get as much from Social Security. Leisure refers to time off from work and other duties. Watching television accounts for most leisure time for young men and women, for young and middle-aged adults. In the United States, men typically spend 5 hours or more per week than women on leisure time. Americans 35 to 44 years of age spend less time on leisure than any other age group from 15 and up. And again, you can see in this chart, watching TV, by far the most common leisure activity, compared to socializing, communication, playing games, participating in sports, exercise, recreation, reading, and other things. Americans have less leisure time than people in most developed nations. As mentioned earlier, no laws in many jobs guaranteeing paid vacation time exist, although people with higher paying jobs or union jobs are more likely to. Even Americans with paid vacation and holiday leave do not use all of their leave. So 55%, more than half, do not use all of their leave. Why? They note that they're worried about how much work they'll come back to, feeling that no one else could do their job, not being able to afford a vacation, feeling that it's hard to take time off while trying to move up in a company, and finally not wanting to seem replaceable as some of the reasons for not taking all of their leave. Many also report that a lack of support from their boss and colleagues is a reason. There are many benefits, however, to taking time off from work for both workers and companies. Taking time off reduces job stress, burnout, improves mental and physical health, and helps adults deal with balancing family and work obligations. Taking time off also tends to help improve job satisfaction and productivity, which benefits the company. So you can see on this chart here, the dark blue lines representing paid vacation days and the lighter blue paid holidays. And you can see for, so many other countries, especially for paid vacation, right? Most of them having 20 or more paid vacation days. And then you look over at the United States and zero paid holidays, zero paid vacation. So very big difference there. And that wraps up cognitive development. Thank you.